Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust launched in 1909 and is one of the most respected investment trusts. Despite the name, it has nothing to do with mortgages. And in fact, what they do is that they invest in highly innovative companies, highly innovative technologies in not only developed countries, but also emerging economies as well. And its top 10 holdings on the investment platform Hargreaves Lansdown are Mercado Libre, Amazon, Meta Platforms, Taiwan Semiconductors, Spotify, and Space Exploration Technologies. You'll see on their website that the top 10 holdings seem to be slightly different, with Space Exploration Technologies, Spotify, ByteDance, which I'll talk about a little bit more in this video, and Nvidia making all of the top 10. And if I click load more, you'll see that there are a host of other companies they've invested in, including Wise, Tempus AI, Stripe, Cloudflare, Netflix, Spotify, BYD, and Snowflake. And with that, you'll see quite a lot of famous and well-known names. But one of the things to really take note of this is that a lot of the investments that they've undertaken in some of these companies were done at very early stages, and I'll talk a little bit more again about an example. One of the examples is Tesla, which is also still one of their holdings today. You can see here the global spread of investments as well across the US, China, Brazil, Taiwan, Singapore, and Europe. And again, this is something that I absolutely love. You know, it comes back to something that I've mentioned in previous videos in a book by Ray Dalio, where he talks about the changing world order and how, you know, economies are in a constant state of change. There is never always one economy that remains the superpower forever. And with this investment trust, there is kind of almost this opportunity to give the people in charge a little bit more freedom to identify emerging companies, emerging innovations in different countries across the globe. Yes, of course, the S&P 500 has typically been kind of an outperformer, but I think one of the things that I'm always looking at is understanding that the economies are in a constant state of change. There's a lot of emerging economies with improved GDP as well. And so having that spread is something that I really like. And so back to this Space Exploration Technologies, you know, it holds investments in SpaceX, which operates in two significant markets where it holds a dominant position in rocket launchers and satellite internet via Starlink as well. And ByteDance, which is a Chinese technology company, it holds a number of different tech companies or software companies under its umbrella, one of them being TikTok. And again, one of the things that I love is that these are private companies. These are companies that, you know, as a retail investor, we don't necessarily have access to. They're not floated on the stock market. And you've noted from a lot of my other videos that I do a lot of research in individual companies. At the same time, kind of part of my investment strategy is to kind of do the stuff that I do with individual stocks, which I share with you on this channel, but then also putting money into investment trusts or, you know, other ETFs, just so that I've got that balance of a level of diversification, a level of safety in a number of companies that I like, or a number of investment trusts with an ethos or philosophy that I quite like as well. And so this trust provides access to a high conviction global portfolio. And like I mentioned, it's made up of public and private companies too. SMT is the largest investment trust in the UK, and one with a reputation for picking tech success stocks early, with notable wins in Tesla and Nvidia before their share prices exploded. Scottish Mortgage was a backer of Tesla before the shares rose 700% in 2020, propelling the investment trust share price 100% higher in the same year. This made the trust the best performer under Morningstar analyst coverage in 2020. The trust also sold over $1 billion worth of Nvidia shares in 2024 because its managers expected emerging chip companies with their own training models to take up market share in the future. We were, though, keen to ensure that we didn't dilute our exposure to the AI revolution, Slater said, highlighting that nearly 400 million of the funds from the Nvidia reduction were reinvested into Meta, with additional investments into Shopify, Roblox, and Cloudflare. You can see here the broad range of companies they're invested in. A lot of them are focused on technology, on innovation, and on e-commerce as well. Mercado Libre is one of them, the leading e-commerce platform in Latin America. And this is part of their strategy that I've identified, which is that they're starting to invest in emerging economies where the internet has still got quite a large runway to grow and develop. There's not been complete adoption by the public in these emerging economies of the internet, but they're anticipating the impact that the development of the internet will have on businesses in the next 10, 20, and 30 years, which is one of the reasons for the investment in Mercado Libre. Is as the adoption of the internet becomes mainstream in these countries, how is that going to empower businesses. Mercado Libre has been described as the Amazon of Latin America. Like Amazon, it provides a platform that links buyers and sellers together online. But they also have a fintech arm, Mercado Pago, which was originally built to support e-commerce platforms, but then in effect became a fully fledged payment system. And they've recently just announced a partnership with PayPal in order to facilitate cross-border payments too. Sea Limited is another of these companies in the portfolio where Scottish Mortgages have invested in a company that provides an e-commerce platform where the internet has not yet fully been adopted or not yet become fully mainstream. Sea Limited is a leading technology company in Southeast Asia offering e-commerce through Shopee, digital finance through Sea Money, and gaming through Garena. Southeast Asia benefits from a population of 600 million people, GDP growth, and increasing consumer spending. Within this context, Sea's focus on e-commerce, digital finance, and gaming targets new demand for convenience, entertainment, and a wide range of goods. And there's also Coupang, which is based in South Korea, and it's South Korea's leading commerce platform powered by a fully integrated logistics network. By owning every step of the delivery chain, from warehouse to doorstep, Coupang delivers products in hours, not days. Its unmatched speed, scale, and bundled service create a sticky ecosystem that drives loyalty, boosts spend, and sets Coupang apart from global competitors. Nearly 70% of the population lives within 10 minutes of a Coupang logistics hub, giving the company unparalleled reach and delivery speed. Coupang has turned this proximity into the country's most advanced logistics network. Over half of all orders arrive in 12 hours.